as you know, soon the Warriors of the Dark Gods are due for a reboot in the Ninth Age, and this is making me think about what Chaos Warriors lack. Yesterday, I did a couple of battles at away out of town, and I realized some things that my army lacks that everybody else's army they have. Now, it's not that I didn't know these things existed, but now that we don't have 3+ ward save flyers or access to multiple chimeras, you really get to see the weaknesses. So let's go over the lore of chaos and where it actually comes from. The lore of chaos encompasses Nordic barbarians and also Vikings. And the thing about that is that's a very cool lore. It really covers some of the almost Conan like almost like Conan's what Conan is what he's all about and what the universe that he's from. And that's what attracted me to Chaos Warriors in the first place. However, there are certain things that Games Workshop, and I go back to Games Workshop because this is the original. They are the originators of the Warrior of the Dark God or the Chaos Warrior. They focused on the chaos, the barbarian part, and the and all of that, and the purpose of the warrior is to be tough in close combat, resilient, and be very and be a very efficient close combat. That's changed now because their initiative is dropped in this new edition, which is huge. Um, they they're really good. They're good in close combat against infantry, but infantry is now good against them. So here we go. Here's what Chaos Warriors is missing. It's missing shooting. Now this is a picture of a a Viking bow. So Vikings did have bows. They did use bows, and since Chaos Warriors are supposed to be emulating the Viking, you would think that they would have bows. Vikings were bowmen as well. Uh, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce another faction of barbarian that used bows and used them quite well. Another faction of barbarian were the Huns. Now the Huns, they were not only great bowmen, but also great horsemen. And so I would have to toy with the idea of maybe Chaos Warriors they need bows just for the actual their paradigm, their model of what they're good at, and what their essence is all about. Barbarianism, Vikingism, the, the the brute from the north, the hoarding marauders and so forth. Yeah, and that's what made the Hun dangerous. Because here's the thing, warriors, while good in close combat, are very slow to get across the field. And when they go up against other armies that have shaft, they really can't do anything against their shaft. Yeah, we have some thrown weapons, but our thrown weapons don't do the same thing as everybody else's shaft, simply because of the fact that their shaft is also supported by shooting from ground troops. So I have to make a plea that Chaos Warriors need some type of shooting, even if it's strength 3, 24-inch range bows, maybe barbarian bowmen, maybe a Hun like unit on on horseback. That would be cool. I'm not asking for strength 6 bolt throwers here. Just something that they can actually deal with shaft with. Because right now, if you shaft up a Chaos Warrior army, that spells death. And forcing your army across the field while getting shot at, that's not fun, and it can't be too fun for your opponent to have such an easy battle. And a lot of people want a challenge when they play Ninth Age battles. And Warriors of Chaos isn't fun for the person that's using them because of the frustration that comes with the fact that you have a two-dimensional army when everybody else has a three-dimensional army. Even the Tau can deal with people in close combat, believe it or not, in 40k. They have, Crisis Suits, which are strength 5 in close combat, 3 attacks. They're pretty good. Same thing with Empire. They have access to close combat fighters. And I think those type of armies that are three-dimensional are fun for everybody to play against because it's a challenge. But if you have a two-dimensional army, it's like playing chess with no rooks and no bishops, but you have knights and you have a queen. And you're going to be an opponent that has all of every piece on the board. But you're starting off that way. With your hand tied behind your back. That's what it's like to play with Chaos Warriors at the moment. Yeah, sure, we got a queen, and queens are nasty, but eventually she's going to get taken by a rook. The Hell Cannon. While the Hell Cannon is decent, it's not good, and this is the reason why. It has a misfire table that does not reflect its monster attribute. It has a misfire table as if it were a war machine, which is weird. Also, the Chaos Armor. One of the other things that made Chaos Warriors cool back in 7th edition is their vast armory. Every Chaos God had a weapon or armor that was a icon of that Chaos God. Maybe they could do the same thing in Ninth Age. Maybe in Ninth Age, each Chaos God has a particular weapon or armor. Because right now the only thing we have is a Hellfire Sword, and it's a fire weapon, and everybody brings a 2+ ward against fire, just because it gives a +1 to armor, and it's only like 5 or 10 points. So that's a given that somebody's gonna be wearing that thing. So that 2+ war against flaming comes a dime a dozen. One army even has 5 up ward save against all flaming. So it's not a good idea to have a 65-point weapon that's flaming. It's just in Ninth Age you have all of this creative room to breathe, and it seems like we're still stuck on the old ideas of what armies are about with chaos. Now, it's not that way with a lot of other armies. A lot of the other armies have expanded out and have broadened themselves to actually become, good and efficient. One of these armies is Ogre Khans. Sorry, they've actually broadened themselves to actually filter into the holes in which the army had. Because right now, even ogres use the chaos power, use the marks better than Chaos Warriors. It's like Chaos Warriors are like that guy on Office Space who's been sitting in there. He's like, yeah, I'm going to have to, the boss is like, I'm going to have to move you down into the basement to basement B. He's like, but I've been working here for 20 years and I still haven't gotten a paycheck yet. Yeah, go ahead and just get down there and make sure you spray into the air vents. Yeah, we're going to have to move you and replace you with someone else. I mean, we're that guy. Everybody uses the chaos marks better than we do. Even dark elves have come into it. And I understand there are people out there that enjoy their ability to just run ramshack over chaos players and chaos war, the dark god players in general. Because they might have had some trouble back in ninth edition, which the dark gods only really did damage for like a flash in the pan amount of time. But we don't have this. You don't, being that this is the Ninth Age, you really don't have to stick with those old paradigms anymore. You could actually expand. You do have the freedom to do that. It would just be a horrible waste of opportunity to stay with the old Games Workshop paradigm with the Warriors of the Dark Gods. That's all I have to say.